Hey guys, Super Nintendo here, and I figured today I would share my thoughts on collecting. Basically what I'm looking for in collecting, how I collect, and just some random thoughts that I plan on expanding as my video channel grows. So first up is, do I collect loose or complete in box? Well, it really depends on the game. If it's a Super Nintendo cart or a Nintendo cart or a Nintendo 64, I'm fine with just loose. The boxes at the time are very brittle, and to me they're really not worth that much. Earthbound here for the Super Nintendo goes for about $150 to $200, but the complete in box version is like $600 to $700. It's just ridiculous amount of money to pay for what I think is just a piece of cardboard. Maybe you like Earthbound so much that you'll buy that, and that's perfectly okay, but for the most part, a lot of games that I like, I probably wouldn't want complete in box anyway. But that's not to say that I don't complete in box certain games for the Nintendo 64, Nintendo, or Super Nintendo. For example, I have Conker's Bad Fur Day, which my wife got me for Christmas. Or if it's just inexpensive, I'll just pick it up instead, because sometimes the complete in box version is only $1 or $2 more than the loose version, so why not? But for the most part, if I find loose games that are Nintendo 64 titles or something like that, and the label's in decent condition, I'll just pick it up, because I don't have too much space, and again, like, the boxes are fairly brittle and they get crunched, and I'm kind of finicky about my titles and what I'm going to pay for. It has to be in like mint condition, not faded or anything like that, for me to even consider picking up a cardboard box. But I will pick up Genesis titles complete in the box, basically because they come in these nice hefty plastic cases, so they're a lot easier to find complete in box. But if it comes in like this later model where it's just like a cardboard box, I'm not really interested in those. So if I know that the game came in a cardboard box like that and I find it loose, I'm not going to work too hard to find it complete. But if I know that it came in the plastic clamshell, I'll definitely make sure that that's complete. The top 3 most expensive games in my collection are DuckTales 2, which costs about $100. I picked it up for $100, and now it's about $150 now. Earthbound, which is, depending on what the market allow, it's anywhere from $150 to $200. I actually got that as a Christmas gift, so I didn't have to pay anything for that. And then Bubble Bobble 2. Now this is my most expensive game, and the most expensive game that I paid for out of pocket. I paid about $300 for this. The reason being is that I've been looking for this game since I started collecting. When I started out in 2003, I didn't give DuckTales 2 or Bubble Bobble or Little Samson any thought. Looking back, I could have had those for pennies on the dollar, 35 bucks at least. And to me, that was expensive at the time, because basically I was finding, Mega Man 6 for $5, and, the most expensive game that I paid for was Mega Man 1 at the time for $20, and I thought that was a lot of money. And now I'm looking back and kicking myself because I could have had them for a little bit cheaper. So what are my collecting habits today? Well, they've kind of calmed down a little bit. 5 or 6 years ago, I would collect anything under the sun. Like if I saw something that just caught my eye, that the artwork looked cool, I would just pick it up and throw it into my collection. I have boxes in my closet that are just full of video games that, again, like, this is the reason why I started this channel, is because I haven't played a lot of the games in my collection. So now I'm focusing more on quality titles that I want to add to my collection. And right now, I think I'm pretty satisfied with what I got right now. I'm mainly looking for, obviously, the big hitter is Little Samson, and some of the other bigger Nintendo titles like Felix the Cat, Princess Tomato, and Bucky O'Hare. Those games I would love to have in my collection, but I just can't justify spending over $100 on a video game anymore. It's gotten to the point where I have so many video games, and now when I'm ready to just buy it, I have the money in my pocket, it's ready to go. I take a second thought and I'm like, how often will I play this? I'll probably play it for a little bit and then it'll go back onto the shelf. And is that really where I want to put my money? Maybe if I get a better job, or if this YouTube channel takes off or something like that, that allows me to have that kind of disposable income, I won't have to think twice. But for now, I have to kind of consider what is the maximum use for my money, and right now it's not those type of video games. But that's not to say that I don't buy things from time to time. I really like Nintendo artwork. Sometimes, like if some Etsy guy catches my eye or something like that, I'll pick that up. Or if it's inexpensive, like those Jakks Pacific Nintendo toys, I'll pick those up. Just little nooks and crannies to fill out my collection. One of the things that I really like doing is going and collecting ads for the video games that are my favorite. They're fairly inexpensive right now because not a lot of people are collecting them. So it's something that I can fill that collecting itch, but I don't have to spend a lot of money for it. So that brings me to my next point, and that's video games as an investment. There's a lot of money in video games right now, and there's a lot of money to be had, but I don't think that video games will appreciate like other collectibles. I think that people are fooling themselves if they're going to spend all of their money into video games and think that they're going to sell them at a later time for $1 million or something like that. I don't think that that's going to happen. And personally, for me, I have like a lot of games here that I could sell and get that copy of Little Samson, but every time that I think about it, I'm like, man, I'll keep it into my collection. So I think that's where a lot of people are going to do it too, is that you're not going to get to that age where you're like, okay, it's time to sell my video games and I'll buy that house in Maui or whatever. I think it's just going to be, you're going to hold on to those games for a very long time, and you might just pass away and your family will sell it for pennies on the dollar. Like, who knows? But I never have thought of gaming as an investment. I think gaming is a lot of fun. It's one of the best things, in my opinion, to collect for. I also collect Star Wars toys, but you don't get the same replay value as a plastic figure. It looks nice on your desk, but you can't just take it off the shelf and get hours of enjoyment of it. Like, it's just not going to happen. So is the video game bubble going to pop? Well, I think that there's not a video game bubble to begin with. I have a lot of thoughts on that. I've been gathering data to support my argument, but I just think that there's not a gaming bubble to begin with. I think a lot of people are fooling themselves to think that Earthbound for the Super Nintendo is going to drop to $20 like it used to be. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, case in point, there's a digital copy right now on the Wii U for $10. You can get Earthbound right now for $10, and that has not affected the price. So I really don't think that people are going to have like this time where stadium events is only $150 because nobody wants it anymore. There's like tens of thousands of copies just waiting for you to just pick up and use them as coasters if you wanted to. I don't think that's going to be happening. The prices might plateau, but again, like, you're kidding yourself if you think that these games that are very expensive now are going to be worth nothing within the short-term future. I mean, it could be very well that a lot of common games are inexpensive, but I'm getting off track. So I'll have a definitely bigger video on that topic because that's a juicy one. So that's my video for today. If you like this content, I try to post one of these videos once a week. It's kind of a new series that I'm trying out, so if you like that, help me out to see that it's something that you want to see by hitting the thumbs up. Do you agree with my statements? Like, what are your collecting goals? Leave them down in the comments. And if you like what I do here, please subscribe. Thanks again for watching. I'm Super Nintendo. Have a good day.